All right, everybody, we're gonna take this opportunity to do a little tribute in history and a walkthrough of this little jewel, 33 L&H. We came in a little early today, actually very early today. We got blown out in Abidjan. So now we have a little bit of time, and I figured pay a tribute to this boat. She is nearing retirement. That doesn't mean she's gonna stop fishing, but she's nearing retirement as far as being involved with the world tour. Let me just give you a little background for those of you that love this boat. And I know I think we earned a lot of credibility fishing on a 33, but I've been fishing all my life, and my first boat was a 17 whaler, so this is pretty darn big. This boat was designed for us to go to Angola in 2000, at the end of 2022, in the beginning of 2023. So Angola is flat calm, and we decided to buy this boat for that purpose. Well, at the last minute, because of evaluations on many things, we decided that we're not going to do Angola. We decided to go to Brazil. And knowing that Brazil is rough water, we thought, you know what, it'd be okay. We'll just anchor the mothership offshore right at Royal Charlotte Bank, so we can eliminate the 40 to 50 mile run every day from Anchorage. And there's no marina by Royal Charlotte Bank. There's a marina in Rio, and that's hundreds of miles away to the south. But anyways, that plan didn't work because the way that the current and the wind is set up offshore at Brazil, once we anchored, the wind hit the beam of the 150 and she was rolling around. Everything was being thrown around, and so we had to stay off the beach in the Anchorage, and we had to run this thing 50 miles every day. We had no choice. And that's when we started to, make jokes about Advil and all that stuff. Breakfast of champions. If you shake it, we start salivating. I'm going to demonstrate how things are done.
I'll take a couple.
On the old company.
Oh yeah, baby. We need a sponsorship.
Backs. So we had a great season in Brazil, fantastic numbers, and it was just fun. It was just an adventure. We never touched land. We arrive at Brazil, we land, we get on the mothership, and the entire trip we stay on the mothership. And then once the southern season was over in 2023, we shifted to North Atlantic, which means Cape Verde, Madeira, Azores, and we shift to the Spencer 57 as the game boat, again supported by the 150. And keep in mind, all this time the 175 is getting built. And then right around April, which is right after the southern season and right after Brazil, we got news that the 43 hull is compromised, delamination. So we decided and made a decision at the request of the manufacturer to take the boat back to the manufacturer because they wanted to be the good guys and repair it. Long story short, they repaired it, but they repaired it poorly, and it actually turned out, in our opinion, fact, worse than before the repairs. But we went through all that hassle and sent the 43 to Spain to get ready for the summer season in 2024, which is right now. So we had no choice. The 33 is here, she's tough, she's ready to go, and then we ended up taking her to Ascensions. And that was a fantastic trip. We ended up fishing her 27 consecutive days, and that was leg 7. And leg 8 is here now, Abidjan, Ivory Coast. And she's got, I gotta put the numbers together, but she's got dozens of fish over 500. And I'm gonna walk you around right now to show you, how she's been such a functional machine. I mean, she's small, but she's mighty. So she gets picked up from the 150 from the crane system. You can see right here we have a 3-point pick. This is actually integrated through the hull. See the backing plate? So this is one of the 3 picks. We have the same exact on the opposite end. And that's how we pick her up. And she rides on the deck of the 150. And since her departure, she's put on 21,000 nautical miles riding on the mothership. This is our Ribovich chair. This chair actually came off the 144, so we don't fish the 144 at all anymore as a game boat. But all of our chairs, I know there's much prettier chairs, much fancier chairs, much more contemporary chairs, but this chair is decades old. We bought every one through Craigslist or garage sales or Facebook ads, and we refurbish them. These chairs are perfect for my style of chair fishing. And every one of them is identical. So this chair, by the time that she does retire, this chair is gonna come off and go on the Billfish 38. The Billfish 38 will start to live on the deck of the 150, while the Backhoe 50 is gonna live on the 175. Let me walk you around. Set of 4 tuna tubes. We did not use this in Brazil. We took it off because we keep on tripping over it. There's a hose right here, and what happens is, you know, myself, OB, and James will be sitting right here, and if the rod goes off on the opposite side, instead of running around the chair, we usually have to come back and wedge our way this way and come to this side and pick up the rod. We broke the sonar a couple of days, and oh, there we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. And one time it was hilarious when rough seas during Brazil, and that happened, and myself, James, and OB all tripped at the same time. The rod was going off, we hooked a nice one, and all 3 of us on the deck laughing. So since we didn't use it, we took this out so that there's a much broader access way for us to get by, because it's not, as you can see, it's not a huge boat. Most of the time, whether Steve or Kevin is driving, they're up on top, and in rough weather in a tower, you gotta wedge yourself in. And
it's crazy. It's all you can do to hang on up here.
But come on up here. It's an island helm. This is the biggest screen that we can get in. Good thing David is young, because he's got good eyes and he operates the sonar for us. Come here. This is the only sonar that we know of, I think, in a 33-foot boat. Well, not sonar, Omni sonar. It's definitely the only one in L&H. Can I take this off, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay, check this out. This is our fancy sonar cover. It only comes in one size, but it's a custom fit. So we have this covering a $100,000 piece of asset. It really doesn't get in the way because we don't use the cabin at all. It only gets in the way if you have to go number 1 or number 2, because take a look, you have to kind of wedge yourself and go around there. But that is the crazy feature of this boat. Make sure I put that back. All right, let me show you the rest. Little overhead here with the Garmin screen. This is a full walk around. Got caught in 50-knot winds a few days ago. We had to idle into the wind, and a few waves broke over the bow. You can't go down swell. You can't go side swell on a storm situation like that. You have to stick it into the wind and just idle ahead and just wait it out. And a few waves broke above the bow, and what we realized is a rock around works like a spoon. And all the water just rushed back here, and those little tiny little scuppers there just didn't work very well. So that was a little bit scary. But here's the walk around. One key area here is the pick. The 3-point pick that I talked about is actually in here. It's through here. It's bolted through. So that's the third pick there. That allows us to do the 3-point pick to use the enclosed crane system. And one of the things that we're gonna do that is a bit of inconvenience is the Billfish 38. We're not going to use the ship's crane. The ship's crane is rated up to 8 tons. This boat is 15,000 pounds. The crane is rated up to about a little bit over that. So this boat is actually at the max. That's why we selected it, for a combination of reasons, but it fits within the crane capacity. So the Billfish 38 dry boat, I think she's 28,000 pounds. So we're having the proper engineering for load bearing here on the deck, which is going to be fine, but we're going to have to use the land-based crane. So since the design area for the Billfish 38 is going to be Southern Hemisphere, which is Bazaruto on the Indian Ocean upwards to Mauritius, and then of course here, ascensions up to Abidjan, there's plenty enough cranes that should allow us the flexibility to crane on and crane off without being self-contained. We'll keep coming back around here. She does not have a radar. We put in the LED lights in the front and just basic controls on top with a Garmin where you can see the sonar display. And coming back here, we were hoping this was going to be a problem, but it never became a problem. She has no door. So if we did get the right one on, we designed a block and tackle system where we're gonna winch it and attach it to the tower leg, and then just hopefully get enough power or leverage to pull that fish in. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet, but we still have 4 or 5 days fishing left, so you never know. And as for when it's going to retire, we don't know. We hope to do one more world tour trip with her, maybe 2, but this also could be the last trip because the next trip, if Cape Verde starts to bite, we may go there and fish the Spencer. So that's why we're going through a walkthrough. It's a little bit of sentimental. She's been a great boat. She's done everything we have asked her to do. And here's the most important. Every day we hit the start button, she started. Every day we pointed her out to sea, she took us fishing. She has not, knock on wood, she's never let us down, which is pretty amazing. One more area, which is the tower, so let's climb up there. Hey everybody, just real quick, if you're enjoying this video, do us a big favor and hit that subscribe button. Any proceeds that we get from this video will be donated to our nonprofit World Heroes on Water, which benefits and helps wounded veterans each and every year. And if you'd like to get closer to the team, head on over to our new website, backhoecrew.com, or search for Backhoe Crew in the App Store. We have an app now. It will allow you to get much closer to the team, live chat, you will get exclusive content, exclusive videos, and our high-end videos will actually come out 1 or 2 weeks earlier for those of you that sign up. In addition, also gives you 15% off of all merchandise that you order on Backhoe Store. All of these proceeds benefit World Heroes on Water and allows us to get closer to some of you that's been asking for more information of the team. So thanks again for your support, and please enjoy the rest of the video. Pretty standard tower. We didn't do much modifications other than to make this removable when we crane her. You can see the attachment. Pretty basic up here. We just changed the Garmin screen up here. It does have an autopilot. And of course, the new Starlink, which is really a game changer. That's how I'm able to update everybody so frequently. One of the things I just don't understand about tower makers, and this is why we spent an enormous amount of time designing our own towers and modifying the tower on the 43, is this is just not functional. Being this far back and this far away from the wheel, it just makes absolutely no sense. But I get it. It looks good this way, but you know, when you're fishing, looks is secondary, functionality is paramount. There's not much to show here, but I do want to show where we keep some of our tackle and stuff. So bench seating on both sides. So this is where our tackle is. This, of course, only the tackle that we use on a day-to-day basis. The rest of the tackle is on the mothership. And I'm sure some or many of you know who this belongs to. This is the classic James Roberts edition. But he's now moving to the all encumbered look because he doesn't have as much coverage up there, so he needs additional coverage. But this is where he keeps his stuff, but as you can see, the rest of the tackle here, hooks, leader. This is the business end of it. A lot of memories on this boat. Not many areas that you can get to, but these tower legs. This is OV spot. And I'll tell you my spot right here. OB stands exactly on the other side. Usually a 2 mile, not 2 mile, what am I talking about? 2 hour run out. Brazil was 2 to 2.5 run out every morning. You really can't sit down because it's pounding so hard that you end up breaking your back. Steve or Kevin that's driving is usually on top. The lower helm seat here, David usually sits here because he's constantly looking at the sonar throughout the day. And when I get tired standing, I usually come here, and this is the backrest here. When I cheat, I take the backrest, I put it here. That's my whoopee. My whoopee cushion. I don't have a lot back there, so I need all the cushion I can because this boat does pound. She's a great boat, but she doesn't have a DB, so it's not a soft ride, and that's not a knock on L&H at all because she does so many things so well. But she doesn't ride like a blackfin, but she's not designed to ride like a blackfin, but she's a lot more stable than a blackfin. So what that means is, on a 40 or 50 mile run out with 6 to 8 foot seas that's coming in on the nose, we just try to keep ourselves occupied in here, and there's no air conditioning, and this boat is so low to the water that we try to add these fans on because there's no air conditioning, and these fans absolutely do not work. I don't even know why we have it on here. We should just take it off. But this is the zipper enclosure here. This is we already messed up the first one. This is new. So the only ventilation here is this little strip right here. And when this is lifted up on top of the roof here, the problem is this boat is low. So unless you have 10 knots or less, you can't open it up because you would get soaked in here and the electronics would be completely, destroyed. So we do need to close it, and it just becomes a microwave oven in here. So we try to get as much wind as we can by just standing out here, in the open breeze. But of course, when you're standing 10, 12 hours a day, your joints start to remind you that you need to take a seat. But all that said, you do have some compromises. but those compromises are expected, and they were worth it. This little boat has caught a lot of fish, and I think she has seen at least three granders that unfortunately we didn't hang on to them, but she's seen a lot of fishing, and she's done fantastic, and we're happy that we're going to be on a bigger vessel, but we're sad that she's nearing retirement. So this harness is pretty dated. I don't know how old is it exactly, but I've tried multiple harnesses. This is the only one that I like. So this one travels wherever we go. So wherever we go fishing, this actually travels with me. And of course, every chair is exactly the same, has the exact same dimensions. One of the things about fishing on this boat that took me a little while to get used to is not only the pitching of the boat side to side, but pitching of the boat fore and aft. One of the reasons why this chair works really good for me is I incorporate both styles of teeter-totter, straight leg, and then rocking back, as well as pushing, sliding. I do that sometimes in the same lift. I would change as the fish is changing its leverage points. And when the boat is going fore and aft, a small boat, when you're riding up a swell and then coming down a swell, it changes the angle just enough where the only time I feel insecure is when it's tipping. And you see some anglers do this on video where they reach back and they hang on to the side of the chair. I never do that with this chair in the appropriate neutral positions. But when the boat is tipping like this, forward and aft, it changes the angles enough where it feels like I'm gonna go over. And then on this particular boat, I'm gonna try to get up here. So this is when I'm on top of the reel, you can see that this boat, because being small, it feels like I'm looking straight over the transom, and it actually pretty dang close. That mentally took me a little while to get used to, because usually when you're up, you're still looking at the T-covering boards, you're looking at the transom, but in a small boat, I'm literally looking straight down. It took a little while, I would say 4, 5, 6 days in Brazil to mentally adjust and to physically understand that, you know, you're not as much at risk of going over as I felt like I was, simply because those angles, I have not experienced it before from bigger boats, because you just don't have those angles with the bow going up so much and the bow coming down so much when she's riding a wave. But I do grab it. You'll see in some of the videos where I'm fighting the fish, I do grab it, simply because when you have 50, 60, or 70 pounds, you know, that angle change is pretty substantial. But you make adjustments, and you know it works fine, and you get used to being 2 feet away from David and OB 10 hours a day, because you only have a 10-foot beam and 3 guys. You're not gonna be too far away from each other, so good thing we like each other. But that's about it. Just got into the airport, ran 30 or 40 minutes out here where we're anchored. You can tell it's really interesting here, right? A lot of clay, it's a little muggy, a little humid, and we just had a quick lunch, and we're gonna go fishing. We're gonna run out. I think it's a long run. I think it's 40, 45 miles. We're gonna fish for a couple hours and go home, but here we are. All right.
you're on the edge here with Team Bad Company. This is the second trip to Brazil. Yesterday was the first day that we actually didn't touch leader on a fish.
So 2 or 3 foot swells coming from 3 different directions, and we just lifted a 15,000 piece of bass head, single point crane, and it took everybody every ounce to get this thing safely in the water. Really, you really got to be able to get to it. You're like in it, and you're extended. That's right. And that's why. David, tell me you got that.
Yeah. I will be, without a doubt, following these guys, wherever they may be in the world. I'm a Bad Company supporter, that's for sure.